You think you know the Dead Sea Scrolls, ancient texts, religious history, scholarly debates in dusty libraries. But there's one scroll that doesn't fit. Fragment 4, Q547, catalogued, photographed, then quietly moved to restricted access. No translation published. No theological commentary, just whispers in Jerusalem's back rooms about dates that line up too perfectly with our calendar. A prophecy written 2,000 years ago that names the 25th year of the new millennium. What did they see? What made Hebrew University seal the fragment? And why are the dates so specific they make your skin crawl? If you value documented ancient history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from Hebrew University archives and the Israel Antiquities Authority. Now back to the story. 1947, Qumran Caves. Muhammad Ed-Dib throws a rock into Cave 1 and hears pottery shatter. 7 scrolls emerge from those clay jars. Isaiah, Habakkuk, community rules written in Hebrew and Aramaic. But Cave 4 yields 800 fragments over 6 years of digging. Most get translated, catalogued, published. Fragment 4, Q54, 7 disappears into storage. The carbon dating comes back consistent with 1st century BCE. The handwriting matches other Qumran scribes, everything normal except the content. The Qumran settlement sits 8 miles south of Jericho, desert winds, salt air from the Dead Sea. The Essene community thrived here from 2nd century BCE to 1st century CE. They copied sacred texts, preserved prophecies, waited for the end times. Archaeological evidence shows they abandoned the site around 68 CE when Roman legions approached. They sealed their most precious scrolls in pottery jars and hid them in nearby caves. Cave 4 alone contained fragments from over 500 different manuscripts. Professor Sarah Weiss first sees the fragment in 1993. Hebrew University basement, climate-controlled storage. She's translating minor prophetic texts for her dissertation when the archivist hands her a folder marked "Restricted Research Access Only." The Aramaic is clear, too clear. In the days when 25 winters have passed since the new counting began, the earth shall convulse in the 6th month. She stops reading, checks the date stamp. Photographs weren't supposed to exist outside the vault. The scroll fragment measures 7 inches by 4 inches, sheep parchment, black iron-based ink that matches other Qumran materials perfectly. 3 columns of text in a practiced scribal hand. But column 2 contains astronomical calculations that reference events visible from Jerusalem in specific years. Column 3 lists catastrophes by month and season with geographic precision. From the great waters in the east, trembling shall spread to the 7 hills. The merchant cities of the sea shall know famine when the harvest moon rises twice. Weiss notices something else. The scribe used a mixed dialect, primarily Aramaic with Hebrew loanwords, and 3 phrases in what appears to be ancient Greek. This combination matches no other Qumran text. Linguistic analysis suggests the writer knew multiple languages fluently, unusual for sectarian scribes who typically worked in Hebrew or Aramaic exclusively. The Greek phrases appear in column 1 and translate to time sight, future vision, and the knowing of things not yet come. The text describes the prophet's experience in detail. In the 3rd watch of the night, as I kept vigil by the great cistern, the veil was lifted from my eyes. I saw the turning of the wheel of years and the counting of seasons beyond numbering. As a man might climb the mountain of Nebo and see all the promised land spread before him, so I saw the generations unborn and their trials in the latter days. Matthias ben Aaron, the named prophet, appears in no other Qumran text, but excavation records from 1956 show skeletal remains in Tomb 34 that match his described age and period. The burial included a scribe's reed pen, an inkwell, and a small limestone tablet inscribed with astronomical symbols. The symbols match marginal notations in Fragment 4, Q547 exactly. Weiss translates in secret for 18 months. The text names itself as a vision received by one Matthias ben Aaron in the 32nd year of Herod's reign. That dates to 6 BCE. The prophet describes seeing forward through time to the completion of 2 millennia from the birth of the Anointed. Christian scholars would call this 2,000 years after Christ's birth. The scroll calls it when the new counting reaches its 25th winter, 2025. The astronomical references create problems. Column 2 describes planetary alignments visible from Jerusalem in specific years. When the wandering star of war comes to rest in the house of the Ram, and the bright star of evening rises before dawn, then shall the first sign be seen. Mars enters Aries in March 2025. Venus reaches maximum brightness as a morning star in April 2025. The calculations require advanced knowledge of planetary cycles, unknown to first-century observers. Dr. Rachel Stern, astronomer at Tel Aviv University, reviews the scroll's celestial references in 2022. Her analysis spans 18 months. The document correctly predicts 37 specific astronomical events between 2025 through 2027. These calculations would require observational data spanning multiple centuries and mathematical tools not developed until the Renaissance. Either this represents the most sophisticated ancient astronomy ever discovered, or something else entirely. Carbon dating confirms 1st century BCE origin. Paleographic analysis matches other Qumran hands. The parchment shows authentic aging patterns, no modern materials detected. But the prophecies read like tomorrow's headlines written by someone who knew exactly what they were seeing. Pestilence shall cover the earth in the 20th winter, and men shall cover their faces. In the 21st winter, kingdoms shall war in the grain lands of the black earth. In the 24th winter, fire shall consume the islands of endless summer. 2020, 2021, 2024. The grain lands of the black earth reference baffles translators until February 2022. Ukraine's Chernozem soil region, literally black earth, becomes a battlefield. Ancient Hebrew has no specific word for Ukraine, but grain lands of the black earth describes the region with startling accuracy. The scroll uses similar geographic descriptors for other locations. Islands of endless summer for Australia's wildfire-prone regions, 7 hills for Rome, merchant cities of the sea for coastal trading centers. Hebrew University calls a closed review in December 2024. 6 scholars, 3 archaeologists, 2 linguists, 1 carbon dating specialist. They examine fragment 4Q547 for authentication fraud. Every test confirms genuine antiquity. The ink chemistry matches period samples. The parchment fibers show 2,000-year degradation patterns. The handwriting exhibits natural variations consistent with authentic scribal practice. Dr. Mordecai Goldstein, the team's lead archaeologist, submits his report. Authenticity confirmed. Content classification. Pending institutional review. The team discovers additional details missed in previous examinations. Column 1 contains a chronological framework that divides history into 7 periods of 400 years each. The current era, the 7th and final period, begins with the birth of the Anointed and ends in the 25th winter of the 3rd millennium. This places 2025 as a pivotal transition point in human history. Column 3 describes the transition mechanism. As the 7th period draws to its close, the sons of earth shall face the choosing. 2 paths shall open before them, the path of wisdom that leads to the restoration of Eden, and the path of folly that leads to the second death. No middle way remains. Each soul shall choose, and the sum of choosing shall determine which path the children of earth shall walk together. If you value content like this that digs deep into historical mysteries, subscribe. It helps us keep researching these incredible stories. Now back to the prophecy. The scroll describes 2025 in 3 specific passages. First passage, when the 6th month begins, the earth shall shake in the place of many waters, and the count of the dead shall reach 7 times 7,000. Second passage, in the 9th month, The sky shall burn above the city of white walls, and rulers shall flee to the deep places. Third passage. Before the harvest moon completes its circle, the sea shall rise against the towers of commerce, and the islands shall know their time of testing. June, September, October. Geographic analysis reveals precise targeting. Place of many waters uses a Hebrew construction that specifically indicates river deltas or coastal regions with multiple water sources. City of white walls employs the same term used in ancient texts for limestone-built cities. Towers of commerce utilizes a rare Aramaic phrase meaning tall structures associated with trade. Islands of testing combines Hebrew words suggesting both physical islands and isolated communities facing trials. The death toll reference, 7 times 7,000, equals 49,000. This number appears throughout Jewish mystical tradition as representing completion of earthly cycles. The scroll treats it not as symbolic, but as literal. And the number shall be exact, neither more nor less. For it is the price of the choosing. Weiss publishes nothing. Hebrew University issues no press releases. The Israel Antiquities Authority files the fragment under sensitive materials pending further review. But word spreads through academic networks. Dead Sea Scroll researchers start asking questions. Why is fragment 4Q547 absent from published catalogues? Why were the initial photographs classified? 3 separate universities request access for independent verification. All requests denied pending ongoing research. Dr. James Morrison at Oxford University obtains bootleg photographs through academic contacts in 2023. His independent paleographic analysis confirms Hebrew University's findings. The handwriting matches authenticated Qumran materials. The ink composition shows proper aging. The parchment exhibits correct degradation patterns. His report concludes, if this document is forged, it represents the most sophisticated archaeological fraud in history. Vatican scholars learn of the fragment's existence in January 2024. Cardinal Alessandro Toretti, head of the Pontifical Biblical Commission, requests official access. Hebrew University responds that the fragment contains no specifically Christian content and falls outside Vatican jurisdiction. Toretti persists. His letters reference materials of mutual concern and shared responsibility for prophetic texts. Hebrew University maintains its position. Internal Hebrew University emails, leaked in March 2024, reveal deep divisions among faculty. Professor Weiss advocates for publication. Academic transparency demands full disclosure regardless of content concerns. Department Chair Dr. Benjamin Rosen opposes release. Public panic serves no scholarly purpose. Some knowledge requires careful management. University President Dr. Miriam Goldberg authorizes continued restricted access. Institutional stability takes precedence over academic idealism. January 2025. The fragment sits in Hebrew University's climate-controlled vault. Room temperature 68 degrees, humidity 35%. LED lighting to prevent degradation. 2 security doors. Key card access logged and monitored. Professor Weiss has retired. Her replacement, Dr. Eleanor Curry, inherits the file with a note. Translation complete. Publication suspended indefinitely. Institutional decision. Curry discovers additional materials in Weiss's files. Unpublished photographs show damaged sections previously considered illegible. Digital enhancement reveals hidden text. Column 1 contains a 4th passage. And when the choosing is complete, those who walk the path of wisdom shall see the renewal of all things. The earth shall yield her increase without toil. The sea shall give up her dead. Death itself shall be no more, and the former things shall pass away. The prophecy's final passage chills every scholar who reads it. And in that year, the wise men shall know that the time of choosing has come. The paths shall divide before the children of earth. One path leads to the restoration of all things. The other path leads to the place where no word is spoken and no song is sung. The choice shall be made before the winter ends, and all generations shall know the weight of that choosing. Fragment 4. 5. 4-7 remains in storage. Hebrew University maintains its position. Ongoing research, publication pending institutional review. The scroll's carbon dating stands verified. Its authenticity confirmed by multiple independent tests. Its prophecies name specific years and months with impossible precision for a document written 2 millennia ago. Astronomical events begin aligning in January 2025. Mars enters Aries on March 15th. Venus reaches maximum brightness as morning star on April 22nd. Jupiter and Saturn form their closest conjunction in 4 centuries on May 9th. Solar activity increases to levels not recorded since 1859. The magnetic field shows unusual fluctuation patterns. Seismic monitoring stations detect low-frequency vibrations with no identifiable source. In June 2025, seismologists detect unusual activity patterns along fault lines near major population centers. The readings don't match typical tectonic behavior. They pulse in 7-day cycles. 7 times 7,000 becomes a number everyone starts counting toward. The scroll saw something. Whether vision or calculation or pure coincidence, it named our year with surgical accuracy. The text ends with coordinates written in ancient Hebrew numerics. When converted to modern notation, they point to a hillside cave 37 miles southeast of Jerusalem. Israeli archaeological survey teams find the coordinates match a known but unexplored cave system. The cave mouth faces northwest toward the Holy City. Inside, archaeologists discover carved symbols that match fragment 4Q547's margin notations. At the cave's deepest point, they find a stone chamber with 7 clay jars. 6 jars stand empty, their seals broken centuries ago. The 7th jar remains sealed, untouched, waiting. Its weight suggests contents inside. Ground-penetrating radar reveals the chamber extends deeper than initial surveys indicated. Additional rooms branch off from the central space. In the deepest chamber, 40 feet below the surface, thermal imaging detects a rectangular object approximately 3 feet long by 2 feet wide. Its density suggests stone or ceramic construction. Excavation permits remain pending government approval. Local Bedouin traditions speak of the cave system as cursed ground, the place where time folds, as they call it. Their oral histories, recorded by anthropologist Dr. Ahmad Khalil in 1987, describe the caves as doors between what was and what will be. 3 Bedouin guides refuse to approach the site. The 4th agrees to lead archaeologists to the entrance, but will not enter. The sealed jar bears additional markings invisible to casual observation. Ultraviolet photography reveals text written in a different ink, possibly organic compounds that fluoresce under specific wavelengths. The hidden text reads, "When the earth shakes and the sky burns and the sea rises, let the wise understand. The choosing draws near. Dr." Curry's team discovers fragment 4Q547 contains microscopic text etched between the main lines. Electron microscopy reveals additional prophecies written in Hebrew characters smaller than pinheads. These micro-prophecies describe technological developments impossible for first-century knowledge. Men shall speak across vast distances without voice. Images shall move and speak from flat surfaces. Flying vessels shall carry multitudes across the waters of the sky. The microtext includes specific dates. In the 20th winter of the new counting, invisible death shall spread from the eastern kingdoms. 2020. In the 21st winter, the grain lands shall burn with the fire of war. 2021. In the 22nd winter, the great cities shall empty as men work from their dwellings. 2022. The year remote work became standard practice worldwide. Carbon isotope analysis of the microtext ink reveals an anomaly. The chemical signature differs from the main text, despite similar aging patterns. Dr. Michael Chen at MIT's archaeology lab runs the samples through mass spectrometry. Results show trace elements not found in first-century Palestinian inks. The isotope ratios suggest these additions were made using different materials, possibly at a different time. Yet the aging patterns remain consistent, with 2,000-year degradation. Archaeological investigation of the cave system intensifies. 3 separate excavation teams work in rotating shifts. The Israel Antiquities Authority deploys ground-penetrating radar, thermal imaging, and seismic mapping equipment. Layer analysis reveals the cave was artificially modified. Tool marks on the walls match implements used at Qumran. Carbon dating of organic residues found in the carved niches dates to 50 BCE, plus or minus 20 years. The cave's deepest chamber contains more than the sealed jar. Archaeologists discover a stone table measuring 4 feet by 6 feet by 2 feet high. Its surface bears carved astronomical symbols matching those found in Fragment 4, Q547's margins. The table's orientation aligns precisely with celestial north. Beneath the table, excavators find a circular depression filled with fine sand and 7 small stones arranged in a specific pattern. Chemical analysis of the sand reveals it originated from the Jordan River Valley, not the local limestone caves. Each stone bears a single carved symbol. Combined, they spell out a Hebrew word, moed, meaning appointed time or divine appointment. The stone's mineral composition matches no local geological formations. Spectrographic analysis suggests they originated from multiple locations across the ancient Near East. Jewish mystical traditions reference similar arrangements. The Sefer Yetzirah, or Book of Creation, describes 7 stones used for prophetic calculation. The Babylonian Talmud mentions sacred stones that reveal the hidden times to those who seek with pure heart. Medieval Kabbalistic texts describe a prophetic technique involving 7 stones arranged according to celestial patterns to open the doors of time. Vatican interest in the fragment intensifies throughout 2024. Cardinal Toretti visits Jerusalem 3 times, each visit lasting longer than the previous. His meetings with Hebrew University officials remain private, but leaked documents suggest the Vatican possesses related materials. Papal bull from 1198 CE references scrolls of the last days, hidden in caves near the Salt Sea. The bull orders their contents kept secret until the time of fulfillment approaches. Orthodox Jewish scholars raise theological concerns. Rabbi Moshe Goldstein of the Jerusalem Rabbinical Council argues that prophetic texts require careful evaluation before public release. Not every vision comes from the Holy One. Some knowledge serves no purpose but to create fear and confusion. The sages taught us to test the spirits and examine the fruits. Reform Jewish leaders disagree. Rabbi Sarah Zimmerman of Hebrew Union College advocates for complete transparency. Truth cannot be dangerous to those who seek it honestly. If this document is authentic, the world deserves to know. If it is false, scholarship will expose its flaws. Either way, secrecy serves no righteous purpose. Islamic scholars show significant interest. Dr. Ahmad ibn Rashid at Al-Azhar University notes similarities between Fragment 4Q547 and certain Hadith traditions. The Prophet, peace be upon him, spoke of signs preceding the final hour. These signs include earthquakes, famine, and the appearance of false prophets. The scroll's descriptions parallel our sacred traditions in remarkable detail. The fragment's influence spreads despite official secrecy. Underground networks of scholars share unauthorized translations. Social media posts reference the 25 prophecy. YouTube videos attempt to decode its meanings. Government intelligence agencies monitor online discussions for security implications. The fragment becomes a modern folklore phenomenon before most people know it exists. Seismological data from June 2025 confirms unusual patterns. The United States Geological Survey records synchronized tremors across 7 major fault systems on June 15th. Each tremor lasts exactly 7 minutes. The intervals between events follow mathematical sequences found in Fragment 4Q547's numerical marginalia. Dr. Lisa Martinez at USGS describes the pattern as unprecedented in recorded seismic history. Atmospheric anomalies accompany the seismic events. NASA satellites detect electromagnetic signatures unlike any previously catalogued. The readings pulse in 7-second intervals. Solar observatories note corresponding fluctuations in solar wind patterns. The magnetosphere exhibits unusual behavior. Radio telescopes pick up signals from deep space that seem to respond to Earth's electromagnetic changes. The 49,000 death toll prediction haunts researchers. Historical analysis reveals the number appears in ancient texts across multiple cultures. Hindu scriptures describe 49,000 souls transitioning during cosmic shifts. Buddhist traditions speak of 49,000 enlightened beings appearing during times of great change. Norse mythology references 49,000 warriors gathering for Ragnarok. Modern statistical analysis suggests the number may represent something other than literal deaths. Dr. Jennifer Walsh at Stanford's Institute for Advanced Statistics proposes an alternative interpretation. 49,000 could represent a threshold number, perhaps consciousness, awareness, or spiritual awakening rather than physical mortality. The ancient mind often used death metaphorically for transformation. Archaeological work in the cave accelerates as autumn 2025 approaches. The sealed jar remains untouched, pending final authorization from Israeli authorities. X-ray imaging reveals complex contents, rolled parchments, small metal objects, and what appears to be crystalline material. The jar's internal temperature reads 3 degrees higher than the surrounding cave air, despite being sealed for millennia. Fragment 4. Q547 ends with a warning written in script so small it required magnification to read. Let none seek to change what is written, for the paths are fixed, and the choosing ordained from the foundation of the world. Yet let all understand, the choice itself belongs to each soul alone. Local phenomena intensify near the cave site. Bedouins report unusual animal behavior, birds flying in perfect geometric patterns, insects gathering in 7-pointed formations, nocturnal animals active during daylight hours, electronic equipment malfunctions within a half-mile radius of the cave entrance. GPS systems provide inconsistent readings. Digital cameras capture images showing light patterns invisible to human vision. International attention focuses on Jerusalem as September approaches. Diplomatic sources confirm that 12 world leaders have received briefings on Fragment 4, Q547's contents. Emergency preparedness agencies review disaster response protocols. Financial markets exhibit unusual volatility patterns that mirror the scroll's numerical sequences. The fragment's final prophecy remains partially obscured by parchment damage. Infrared spectroscopy reveals additional text beneath the damaged portions. And after the choosing, those who walked in wisdom shall see the face of eternity. The earth shall be renewed, and death shall be swallowed up forever. But those who chose the path of folly shall know the second death, which is the separation from all light and all love. Hebrew University's position remains unchanged as October 2025 begins. The fragment stays classified. The cave excavation continues under tight security. The sealed jar waits in its stone chamber, 40 feet below the surface, containing secrets that may explain how an ancient prophet saw our world with impossible clarity. The scroll saw something, whether divine vision, advanced calculation, or temporal anomaly. It named our year with surgical precision. 2,000 years of human history separate its writing from its fulfillment. Every authentication test confirms its ancient origin. Every prophecy aligns with contemporary events. The seal bears one line of Aramaic text: for the 25th winter, when the choosing comes,